I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned. Hi, all my dear friends. How are you today? I want to tell you, I'm doing pretty good. I'm 4 weeks out from my broken elbow, and I have learned so much, and also I feel more grateful than ever because guess what happened to me last night? You will not believe it. I got to sleep on my side for the first time in 4 weeks. It was heaven. It's so funny how the little things mean so much when something is taken away from you. And I could name so many things about this elbow where my gratitude has grown. And as most of you probably know, if you read my newsletters, is that I posted a blog about my biggest inspiration, who is my mom. And I wrote in there that the thing about my mom is probably the thing I admire about her the most is her gratitude. And I really used that and noticed it so much during this broken elbow, because in the beginning, it was like, it's such a surprise, when something happens that you don't expect and that you don't want. And then what do you do with it? And I was really thinking about that. I posted a video of myself out in the woods for the first time with my cast on. And let me tell you, talk about grateful for being able to be out there and to be with my trees again. And I even posted on my newsletter this tree because I came across this tree. It was big and it was gnarly and it had all these branches. And it kind of reminded me of myself, as I get older, that there's so much to me now. And, I'm a little gnarly. I've got some scars. I've got a lot of extra stuff. I've learned so much, all the extra branches and extensions of a tree. I feel like that's my wisdom. So I kind of related to the tree. So I wrote all about it and then did a video on it. So if you get my newsletters, you got to see the video. The other thing about this broken elbow that brought up even more for me was my passion for the work that I do. So as you all know, I am getting really ready to open up the doors to my group. And the reason that I'm even doing it, because I was really going to wait until next year, I got this big aha moment when I was talking to my son, who's my COO of my company, which is unbelievable. My son is my best partner in business. But I got this idea. We were talking about the group, and all of a sudden, all I wanted to do was to get the group going before the year ended. Because this is what I realized, and this is what's so exciting, is that if I can help you learn my Thinner Peace process during all of these holidays that are coming up, and then take you through the end of the new year into February, without having to set New Year's resolutions, because you're already going to know if you decide to do this group with me, you already know you're going to be there. You don't even have to think about it, right? And we do all the work during the celebrations of all of these holidays without deprivation, without restriction, and actually having more fun. Like, what a concept. And this actually came to me with this broken elbow. It's interesting that I actually became a little bit more creative when I was in pain. I don't know how that happens, but I really find it fascinating. And that's really why this group is opening up when it is. And the other thing is that this group that I'm getting ready to introduce to you, I am actually going to do a free class next week about not only the group, but I'm also going to do some coaching, and I'm going to teach you the 3 steps to permanent weight loss during menopause. So I'm going to teach you 3 things that I think are the most important points of my thinner peace process, which is the thought model, the emotional hunger scale, and the physical hunger scale. I'm going to teach it to you in concept, and then I want to coach you. I want some of you to come on and be coached, and I'll take each of the concepts and then show everybody that's on the call how the concept works with coaching and how to unravel the mind, because your mind gets in the way all the time. And that's why you put food in your mouth, is because your mind kind of has ideas about things. But I want to be able to show it to you crystal clear so that even if you don't do the group, you could still participate in this free class, this free webinar. And I know that you'll get a lot out of it, because if you've never seen coaching in action, or you've never been coached before, then this is something to see, because then you will see the miracle. And it is kind of a miracle of coaching, because what I think of as a miracle is a change in perception. And there is no doubt that if you get in this class with me, you will have a change in perception on how you see yourself and how you see what you put in your mouth. There's no way that you won't come away with something. And if you're a woman and you've been struggling with weight your whole life and menopause is making it harder than ever, in other words, you've kind of been doing the same thing for decades and you're trying to keep doing the same thing going through menopause. And it's pretty frustrating, I know, because your body just doesn't work like it did. I want to show you that there are things that are tried and true no matter what, no matter if you're 20 or if you're 30 or if you're 50 or if you're 60. It's really being connected into your body in the way that you were wired, which is really all the concepts that I teach in my thinner peace process. For instance, when I talk about the physical hunger scale, for instance, are you hungry? Are you full? It seems so simple. And yet, when you watch me coaching other people and you watch when I ask somebody, if they ate something, were you hungry? And they say no, we know that the physical hunger scale is not what's running them to eat. Very, very important that you first connect into, am I hungry or am I full? And if you're full, and of course, the way that I do that, or maybe you don't know, is that I do have a physical hunger scale. I'll show it to you in class. I'll go over it to you in this free class, show you how it works, explain it, and then I'll bring somebody on and I will coach them and I'll show you how it works in coaching. And I think that if you don't do anything else but just listen, you will learn so much about your own mind and about why you do what you do. The other tool that becomes so important during this time is the emotional hunger scale. Because if you're not eating because you're not hungry, if you're eating and you're not hungry, why are you eating? And think about this for a minute. If you had no emotion around food and you only ate when you're hungry and stop when you're full, what else would you be doing? It's like, all I see with the people that I coach is they end up with a bunch of food in their food journals when they're not hungry, using eating as something to do, right? And if you're not eating when you're not hungry, you have all of this space in your brain and in your life to do other things. It really is amazing, and it's also very amazing to watch. So here's what I want you to think about. Are you a woman? Are you going through menopause? Is this something that you've been struggling with your whole life? Because most of the women that I talk to all kind of have the same issues. And that's why so many people tell me that when they hear my podcast, it feels like I'm talking to them, because there is a similarity between all of you, which is the beauty of coming to this class that I'm offering that's free. You'll see that. And also why the group might be a really good experience for you, because you're going to realize that you're not alone. And even if you don't get coached and you watch somebody else getting coached, sometimes you'll learn even more. you will have as many aha moments as if you were being coached yourself. So I really want you to think about this. It's coming up next week, next Tuesday, October 19th. It's going to be at 10:30 a.m. Central. And you can go to drdebbutler.com/join, JOIN, and you can come on in and I can meet you, which is really exciting. I love to do these free classes because I get to meet a lot of you who have been listening to the podcast for a long time, for a short time. And listen, if you're just listening to this today, it's just as relevant as if you've been listening to me for years. Because if you're just listening to me today, let me tell you, I've been doing this for a long time, and this podcast probably has 289 episodes or 288 episodes. So there's a lot. And this class is I kind of fine tune it to give the most specific tools that'll give you the most amount of help. And the other thing that I think is really important that I'll be teaching in the class too is this whole idea of this thought of just not wanting it. You know, the difference between willpower and really not wanting something. So we call that over desire. When you desire something so much and you use willpower or resistance to try to not eat something, as opposed to being able to come to a place where you just don't want it anymore, where your desire lessens. That is part of my Thinner Peace process too, that I've helped so many women with. And one of the women in one of my videos, in my transformation videos, Marie talked about this whole idea of urges, that an urge is like a desire. When you want something, it's how bad do you want it? And then we call all of that, it's still emotional hunger. Urges, emotional hunger, over desire, they all kind of come together. I'll talk a lot about that in the class because in the end, you were wired a certain way from the day that you came onto this earth. And that is to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. And that appetite of yours is important. You need an appetite in order to live. And I know so many of you get happy if you get sick or something and you don't have your appetite because, oh, then I can lose weight. But a sign of good health is a good appetite. So you want to be hungry. You just want to understand how to fill yourself up with food for your body's fuel tank and then fill your life up and your mind up so that you learn how to handle all emotions. Because for most of my clients, and maybe you're listening to me right now and thinking the same thing, is that you don't know what to do when you're stressed or when you have negative emotion. And maybe some of you like when you have positive emotion and you celebrate and you think you want to use food for that. I know that happens too. But all of it tends to be emotional hunger. And I will show you how negative emotional hunger will show up in positive emotions as well as negative emotions. And it's one of the big things, I think one of the big aha moments that people have when they realize that you can be in a happy situation, having a good time, but having an urge or an over desire to eat when you're not hungry, and to be able to see that and to be able to be very, very aware of that. So I use a lot of mindfulness, and also probably one of the biggest things is self-compassion, right? How to be kind to yourself. You'll be able to see that in this class because as I'm coaching people, I will always bring in self-compassion. Self-compassion is something that I think as a successful woman, it's something we almost need to be taught because I think we learned somehow how to be hard on ourselves, not how to be kind to ourselves. And in all the Buddhist teaching, compassion and self-compassion is one of the biggest things that they teach. And it's such a beautiful thing when you can learn how to treat yourself as your most beloved, because I know you know how to do it with other people. I know you know how to do it with your children or your grandchildren or people that you love. But when you hold yourself in that high esteem and worthiness and know that you deserve the same thing, that's when you get more of what you want. So I want you to really think about this. Next week, this class is happening. It's free. All you have to do is go to drdebbutler.com/join, JOIN, and I will get to see you. It'll be a Zoom call. It'll be a video call. It'll be recorded, and you can get all the details on this. But if you've been thinking about wanting to work with me, if you've been wondering what coaching is even like, what it's like to coach with me, or you really wanted to get into this group and you wanted to find out more about that, I'll be doing all of that next week, all of it. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm so passionate. And thanks to my broken elbow, I'm doing it now. And we are using the holidays. Now, I just want to talk to you a little bit about these holiday things that are coming up. I know. It's hard to believe. But actually, the holidays will bring up, it'll expedite everything because celebrations bring up everything. And I just want to teach you that you can celebrate, that you can have fun, that you can be sad, that you can be whatever and still be conscious, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, and take care of your emotions. I think the holidays will bring that up more than anything. So we're going to use that opportunity and we're going to bring it through the new year. Oh my gosh, how exciting. So, if you decide to do it now, you're done. So if you want to find out more, or you just want to come in and be coached, or you just want to meet me, go to drdebbutler.com/join, and I will see you next week. And before I say anything else and end, oh, please, I almost forgot. No matter where else you go, no matter what else you do, please, please, please be very kind to yourself. And I will see you on the podcast next week. And if we're all fortunate enough, we'll see each other on Zoom and we'll be coaching our little heads off. See you next week. Bye-bye. If you've been loving my podcast, please, please, please subscribe. And also, please, please, please review if you're loving it. The way you heard about it is the way many people hear about it. They Google it or they look for it. And the only way that it pops up is by who reviews it. So if you're loving it, let's pass on the good word and the good news. Thank you.